James Jones, former Packer wide receiver and a Super Bowl champ, joining us in studio on a Friday. By the way, I did not pick that Green Bay Packer game because you know what? Young teams like Houston and Green Bay, young teams play with a naivete. They get better as the season progresses. They don't know what they don't know. Yeah. You had to have been blown away by that Green Bay performance.
No, I wasn't blown away.
By Kansas City?
Nah, I wasn't blown away because I've been saying all season long, we're waiting on Jordan Love to grow and to get better as a football player. But this team has a bunch of first-rounders on that defense, where a lot of people don't understand. That defense is stacked with first-rounders. They're starting to get healthy. Hopefully you'll get Jair Alexander back too. So I knew at home the defense will play well against a struggling Kansas City Chiefs offense during this season. But Jordan Love, I mean, you're talking about these last couple weeks, man. I mean, 3 out of 4 winning football games, and he's just going with the football to the right places. He's playing comfortable. Coach LaFleur is calling an aggressive football game, and it was fun to watch, man. I mean, obviously some of these throws, when you see them go up like this one to Romeo Doubs, you're like, oh, man. But, hey, that's quarterback play. He's playing at a very, very high level, man. I'm happy for the kid, and the Packers got it rolling right now.
This is not a shot at Aaron. It's a reality. Brady didn't love playing with young players. Either does LeBron. And I think it was tough for Aaron last year. It's like it's a bunch of kids.
Yeah.
I'm getting to 40. I do feel it helps Jordan. You know, whereas if you're an older quarterback and Christian Watson drops a ball, you're not going to go to him for a while. Yeah. I think Jordan Love's like, hey, man, I'm getting beat up by the press. Yeah. You drop a ball, I'm coming right back to you. Well, the age thing does help.
But and not only that, I mean, Jordan Love's trying to prove himself. You know what I'm saying? So you better come back to one of the best players on your football team. Aaron Rodgers is an MVP. He has proven. Like, when we first started off as young fellas with Aaron Rodgers, it took us a lot of time to get that chemistry together. It took us a lot of time to say, okay, if the defender's here, I know Aaron Rodgers is throwing the ball here. If the defense is in this coverage right here, I know Aaron Rodgers is going to check to this play. Or I know he wants me to run this. Like, that stuff takes time. So when you're almost 40 years old and you're getting out there with a bunch of young receivers, sometimes, it don't matter what position you play. Sometimes you're like, dang, man, like, I went through this with JJ and Jordy and Randall and all that, and now I got to go through this again with Jordan Love. It's like, we are about to grow together. We are all young. We're going to grow together and get this thing right together.
So I think Mike McCarthy has had a great year. It's easy to say because they're winning. He had appendectomy surgery this week, so we wish Mike the very best. But you were with him when teams were playing well and the quarterback is playing well. And I said this, Mike's gotten beat up a lot, but this is the best Dak's ever played.
Absolutely.
Favre's last year with him was excellent. Aaron had great years with him. You were in those huddles. You were in those meetings and discussions. What does Mike do? I mean, he was 5-1 with Cooper Rush.
Yeah.
Mike does something, and Aaron may have tired of it. But there was a time they were great.
Yeah.
What does Mike do for quarterbacks that I wouldn't know in meetings, in practice?
Well, what Mike does is he really makes it extremely simple for the quarterback. You are a special football player, right? Aaron Rodgers, you're a special football player. Brett Favre, you are a special football player. Dak Prescott is playing at a special level right now. We are not going to make this game hard, right? We're going to have some really good runs. We are going to have some pass plays off of these runs. If you don't like it, check it and get into a really good play. And these are our favorite checks, right? And number one, there's no need to force nothing down the football field. One thing I seen with Coach Mike is he came in, he said, listen, Aaron Rodgers, the ball is in your hands. Right? We have these playmakers around you, right? These are our favorite plays. The game is really simple, and these are our checks off these favorite plays. Obviously, you're going to go into a game to where schematically you're saying, okay, we're going to put in these couple plays for this defense, you know what I mean, to run them. But other than that, we are going to line up in 3 wide. We're going to line up in a couple bunch formations, and we're going to let you get us in the right play, because when you get us in the right play, it lets me know you know exactly what you're looking at, and it allows you to play a whole lot faster, Dak. And one thing Coach Mike preaches and preaches and preaches is legs, 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 legs. Use your legs. We practice scramble drill and getting outside the pocket so much in Green Bay.
Greg Cosell said that yesterday. Dak's moving
and getting out. But when you listen to Dak, they're practicing that. And that's what we did in Green Bay time after time after time. Coach Mike always used to tell us 80% of the game is off scripted. Right? It's very rare you're going to come out there and say, this is the play and it's finna work. No. Defenses do stuff. Pass rushes happen. Like 80% of the game is off scripted. That's why Russell Wilson was so great. Aaron Rodgers was so great. Patty Mahomes is so great because the off scripted plays. And when you watch Dak Prescott play right now and the understanding of the off scripted plays is changing his games, whether he's getting outside the pocket throwing it or whether he's getting outside the pocket making plays with his legs. Since that Niners game, the way he's been using his legs and getting outside the pocket has truly changed his season and his game.
You know, it was interesting, pivoting back to Jordan Love. So when I watched him, I mean, obviously people can have revisionist history, but 5-6 weeks ago, Matt LaFleur was ripping him in post-game comments. Yeah. To me, the only thing that really changed is his confidence. Is that at some point, and again, when Aaron played under Brett Favre, I remember watching Aaron in college at Cal. He was kind of mechanical, and Favre isn't.
Yeah.
He was a gunslinger, right? And so Aaron, I think, watched Favre and became much less robotic. I mean, you can go back and YouTube Aaron at Cal.
Yeah, ball
here. And so Aaron watched Brett and just became more of a musician. I'm gonna freeform here, a chef in the kitchen. So I watched Jordan Love, and it was the second time I saw it against Detroit, where he looked like, I think he's a little more Favre than Aaron, but you could tell somebody had told him, dude, go, you're an athlete. That's what it looked like.
Yeah, and the main person that told him that was Coach LaFleur. And you can see that by Coach LaFleur's offense. I mean, and by the way he's calling the game. I stood up here with you, and I'm like, Coach LaFleur's trying to protect him, trying to keep him safe. Like, you guys are trying to figure out if he is the franchise quarterback, right? You cannot be out here treating him like he's a C.J. Beathard or something like that if he's the franchise quarterback. He's been in this offensive system for 3 years. You have to let the young fella go. You have really good weapons around him. You're going to get Aaron Jones back. Like, you have to call an aggressive game. And through this win streak, he said, you know what? If the young fella throw picks, he throw picks. But I'm about to be aggressive just like I was with Aaron Rodgers, and I'm going to let him sling this football over the yard. And I'm telling you right now, when you talk about arm talent, Jordan Love has arm talent to compete with the best of them in the National Football League. And Coach LaFleur has confidence in him to really call these plays and let him loose.
So I saw where one of the Bosas, Nick Bosa, came out and said, hey, we gave you the blueprint on how to stop Jalen Hurts. And I'm like, nobody else has Dre Greenlaw and Fred Warner. It's an easier blueprint when you have the second best pass rush in the league. What do you make of Philadelphia getting dragged? My take has been they just played 4 great teams in a row. So go back to your career. It's like fatigue. Like there's only so many high leverage moments you can play. At some point, you just like, I'm done. I think Philadelphia is fine. But I cannot believe how many people are selling their Eagles stock.
It's crazy, because obviously every time you dominate a team on the football field, it's always we gave them the blueprint, right? Everybody thinks they got the blueprint on Aaron Rodgers. Everybody thinks they got the blueprint on Patty Mahomes. You don't, right? You've seen Patty Mahomes go out there against the Denver Broncos, and the Denver Broncos turn it over, and, or the New York Jets turn them over. You don't have the blueprint. You had a really good game, right, against the Philadelphia Eagles. I truly feel like the Philadelphia Eagles had a terrible game plan. You go in there, DeAndre Swift has 6 carries. You're going up against the San Francisco 49ers, and you're going to just drop back as they rush 4 and try to complete a pass versus 7 defenders in coverage. You're not going to do that. No quarterback will do that, So for me, I just felt like Philadelphia Eagles game plan was terrible, right? If the Cowboys come at them this weekend with that rush 4 and we're going to drop 7, they're going to run the ball down the Cowboys' throat. At least they're going to try to. Whether it's Jalen Hurts using his legs, whether it's Devontae Swift running the football, they're going to run the ball. I feel like they got away from that in the game. The Niners rushed 4. They did not even run the football. And they were up 6-0. Could have been 14-0, but you up 6-0, and you still didn't run the football. So I don't think it's the blueprint because I think the game plan will change for the Philadelphia Eagles to where this is how you're going to approach us. Okay, this is going to be our approach for that. We are going to get into more of these run formations and run plays if that's how you guys going to play us.
Only criticism I have of offensive coaches, and I've said this about Sean McVay, who I think is brilliant, they get cute. They try to, sometimes it's like, bring it down, hand it to the back, and sometimes, by the way, and I think the Lions, who can throw the ball, are at their best running. Everybody thinks Philadelphia is a passing team, and I'm like, no, actually, I think an older offensive line, it's easier to ask them to go forward than to go backwards. So I think Philadelphia is a run team.
I mean, even when you watch Philadelphia against the Kansas City Chiefs, right? It was some screenplays, some short passes here and there, and DeAndre Swift had himself a day in the run game and in the screen game, right? And Jalen Hurts made some plays later in that game with his legs, and he made one big-time throw to Devontae Smith, and they won the football game. A.J. Brown had, 8 yards? So like they they run the football, so for me, that is where they got to start at. You have a quarterback that's extremely mobile, that's extremely strong. Utilize his legs. I was waiting for them to utilize his legs against the San Francisco 49ers, because if it's one thing the San Francisco 49ers struggle with, that is mobile quarterbacks as a defense. And they just kept Jalen Hurts, one of the best mobile quarterbacks in our game, inside the pocket. So this Philadelphia Eagles, it starts with the run game. And that's Jalen Hurts, that's Swift. It starts with them, and then everything comes off of that.
Okay, I want to talk about Marvin Harrison Jr., tremendous college receiver. He said he's still considering Ohio State because kids now can make a couple $1 million. Ohio State's got a big collective. What do you make of those comments?
I mean, I laugh at these comments because this is absolutely crazy. You talking about $5 million and you about to get $30 million guaranteed, man. You go this number 1, number 2, number 3 overall pick and get to the National Football League. And not only that, you're playing in college football because your dream is to get to the National Football League. Well, right now it's set up for you to be a top 2, top 3 pick in the National Football League. I truly believe this is all talk. I don't even, I don't get into him or Caleb Williams talking this stuff, man. You're not going to make the money you're going to make in the National Football League in college. I don't care what university you go to.
Did you like playing in college?
Loved it. I would want to play one more college football game over playing one more NFL game.
Why?
I don't know. It was just different. Everybody's on scholarship. You don't really got a lot of egos involved. It ain't no money involved. Everybody's chasing the same goal. Everybody's brothers. You're in the locker room talking about a bunch of crazy stuff and all that from college. It's just a fun time. So for me, I would love to go back and play one more college football game with my buddies, then go back and play an NFL game with my buddies.
But you don't buy this story.
No, not at all. He's coming out, and he's going to be a hell of a player in the National Football League. But I do not see him staying in college. For what? Like, you're coming back for what? Okay, you got a couple NIL this before. You have nothing else to prove. You have shown the world everything.
My takeaway is, if I can not go to class or go to class,
and make more money.
I never liked going to class in college.
Hey, I'm right with you. But you talking about now I don't have to go to class and I'm making $25 more million than I would have made, and I'm in the National Football. This is a no-brainer. These kids coming out saying this is absolutely crazy.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.